Hello and welcome to the Career Change Studio. This is the place to design and create a new working life so that you can live the way that you want and need in your next chapter. I'm Dana Stevens, certified career change coach, and I'm here to help you work out your next career move. I'm going to inspire you to think about this transition in brand new ways so that you can think differently about yourself and what's possible for you. You'll also learn how to build up your belief and self-confidence so that you can finally start taking action. This is about so much more than just getting another job. This is about changing the way you live your life for the better. Hello, and how are you this week? So today I want to talk to you about mindset and the importance of shifting your mindset so that creating change in your life and career is possible. It's one of the most important things that you can focus on when trying to create change in your life. And the great thing is that just some very small mindset shifts can create real meaningful changes in your life. So my goal as a coach is always to help you think differently about yourself, about your potential, and about what is possible for you. When you think differently, you're going to feel differently, and that's going to help you behave and act differently. And those actions are going to help you make the changes that you really want. Make those changes a reality. So typically, I might work on a range of mindset shifts with a client, any range that they need to work through to move forwards. But one that I thought I would focus on today with you is useful for almost anyone who is thinking of making changes, and that is your capacity for change. I want you to think about how you currently view yourself in relation to change. Let's start there. What are you telling yourself about how you cope with change? Do you tell yourself that you're someone who doesn't like it? You don't like change. Maybe you're good with change in some areas of your life, but not in others. Maybe in other areas you're telling yourself that you struggle, or you don't know how to deal with it, or that you'll find it too hard. So the first step here is awareness. Understanding what your thoughts are about change. This could be just thinking about them, pondering them, or for you it might be helpful for you to write them down. And I would recommend that you think about how you view yourself in terms of change in general, and then also specifically around your career. Then I would encourage you to think about whether your thoughts about yourself and change are actually true. For example, lots of clients will say to me something along the lines of, I'm just not good with change. And then we might start talking about where they have made changes in their life, and maybe they have got married or moved house or had kids, things that are actually changes, but they're not necessarily thinking about those things in that way. But they do all involve you considering something, weighing up options, making a decision, and creating change. So what can be useful when you stop and think about it is that you might be able to modify this big sweeping statement, this belief that's holding you back, telling yourself I'm not good at change at all in general, and modify that to be something that's more accurate and specific. Instead, you might change that to, I have made changes in my life, but I'm nervous now around this next career change. So for lots of people, the specificity, right, this can feel more empowering, because it's not that you're not good at all change. It might just be there is one specific change you're struggling with. And naming it can help you start to get into problem-solving mode, rather than just shutting yourself down with a sweeping statement. Rather than just saying, I'm just not good with change in general. Because this kind of story that you're telling yourself, I'm not good with change, it stops you. It stops you from coming up with solutions. That belief stops you from making any changes or even attempting change, because you're telling yourself that you don't think you're the type of person that can. But if you take the time to make it more specific, more true, more evidence-based, you could change it to, I have made changes before. Now, if I do that, I can think about what qualities I have that enabled me to make those changes before. And when I've narrowed it down to I'm actually nervous about making this next change in my career, I can then zero in on that. Why am I nervous? What is specifically creating that feeling? What is it about this next step that feels different to previous changes I've made and completed successfully? So this awareness, understanding of our thoughts, where we currently stand, is really, really useful. And then we can use another tool to really start to build our confidence around change. And I want to introduce you to this concept that I came up with called Change Fluency. I came up with this after working with lots of clients, helping them to create their life first career. Because when a person can become more fluent at making changes, and becoming fluent actually means that it becomes easier for you, smoother for you, that it takes less effort over time. And I've deliberately chosen that word fluency because I do think it's a skill you can learn and develop. There are lots of parallels with learning a language. At the beginning, it can feel almost impossible and overwhelming. But then, when you break it down into small steps, practice, allow yourself to make mistakes, practice some more, eventually it becomes easier. And it becomes something that you have to think about less consciously. It feels less like hard work. And it becomes something you can just do. Your brain gets good at it. Your brain becomes fluent. And this is what I want you to think about in terms of change. What if you decided now that you are going to work on becoming more fluent at change? And to do that, you can start small and practice. Be willing to make mistakes, adapt, find a way that works for you, and keep practicing until you become someone who is more fluent at making changes in their life. Now, I do know that for so many people, the idea of making a big change in their career can feel huge and overwhelming. So this is about expanding your capacity for change before you get to that bigger change, right? So I'd like to encourage you to start with a small, achievable change that you might want to make in your life. And to begin with, I would offer that it can be useful not to make this original one, this initial change you're going to start with, career-related at all. So we want to start with something that feels low stakes, low pressure, because this is all about proving to yourself that you can make a change. That's the focus here. Often when people are living and working in a way that no longer fits, they've started to let go of things that might have helped them feel like themselves or kept them grounded. So this is often a good place to start with change. So for you, that might look like wanting to get back to making time for exercise, or even begin making time for exercise if it's not something you've ever done, right? This could be going for a run or a walk one weekday morning, or making time to go to the gym at lunch. Or it might be about making time for yourself, simply having a lunch break away from your screen, or providing space for something creative, maybe doing something crafty one weekday evening. Or for you, it could be re-engaging with an old hobby like reading, something you used to love, and doing that before bed one evening instead of scrolling on your phone. So I encourage some of my clients to set these things as a mini change goal, something that they want to do for themselves. And the idea is to start in a very small, achievable way. This could be one walk in a week, one yoga session, one chapter that you're going to read a night before bed, maybe not even every night, maybe just twice a week. The key is to make the small change feel manageable, because you want it to be something that you're going to go on and achieve, right? We're not going to go from nothing, let's say, not working out at all anymore, to then trying to work out every day in a week. That's just going to end up being demoralizing and feel too heavy. We're going to start small and achieve whatever we've set out to do for a week or two, maybe 3, maybe 4 weeks. And then if we want to, we can add more frequency or more chapters or whatever it is. And I want to tell you why this bit is so important, because this idea of not setting yourself really hard or high, unachievable goals is important, because this is about not just doing the thing itself, like the reading or the run. Yes, they're going to be beneficial to you in a way, of course, but really this is about you developing your self-concept, your identity as someone who creates change. This is about how you view yourself. So the important thing here is to identify something you want to change in your life, deciding that you're going to try it, doing it, honouring yourself, sticking to your word, doing the thing, and then celebrating the fact that you have done it. This is important. That pause at the end to celebrate is important, because we don't want to just tick something off like it's on our to-do list and rush on to the next thing, or even immediately add extra sessions or days to our goal. No, it's about pausing, because it's important that we acknowledge, that you acknowledge what you've done, noticing how good it feels. Not just to do the thing itself, the exercise, the reading, the creativity, but noticing how good it feels to try something you want to do, create a new change in your life, and then doing it, the following through. You get to sit with the feeling of how good it feels to be a person that makes change. Sit with it, feel it, and notice that each time you make a change and try a new thing, you're signaling to your brain, I am a person who can and does make changes. And the more that you do that, the easier you will find it to try again, to set new change goals, to keep going with your current goals, or even to adapt the ones you currently have. You will eventually become more fluent in change. And this is such a helpful shift. To move from thinking I'm not good at change to I'm someone who can and does make changes. Or even I'm someone who's trying to get better at making changes, right? And gradually, as you become more fluent in change, you can move up to the bigger, more significant changes. The more change fluency you build up, the less daunted you will be by the prospect of making changes in your career. You will feel confident and more capable of making changes, whatever size they are, because it becomes less about the size of the change and more about the type of person you think you are and what you think you're capable of. So if you found this useful, to think about change in this way, a different way, to think about the value of shifting your mindset and then getting a practical tip on how to do that, I'd love to invite you to a masterclass I'm doing next week. On Tuesday next week, the 3rd of March, 2026, if you're listening in real time when this podcast originally comes out, I'm going to be hosting a masterclass where I'm going to go deeper into the mindset shifts I teach my clients to enable them to make changes in their career. It's going to be at 7 o'clock. It's going to be live online, and I'm going to be sharing some of the most common thought errors that come up that hold people back, and the shifts, the mindset shifts that are more helpful and how you can get to them. So if this has resonated with you today, the masterclass is going to help you take this further. I'm going to put the link in the show notes, or you can go to my website, danastevens.com. That's DANASTEVENS.com, and click on the link there on the homepage to register. And if you're listening to this at some point in the future and you might have missed the masterclass, then don't worry, I often host them. So keep an eye on my website or go to my Instagram for information about new and upcoming events and masterclasses. Right, so that is it for this week. But if you do decide to set yourself a mini change goal so you can change your self-concept around change, I would love to hear about it. So please, please, please do message me. Feel free to let me know. Perhaps send me a DM on Instagram. Tell me what your mini change goal is. Tell me how often or what it is that you're trying to do, and keep me posted on how you're getting on. And hopefully I will see you at the masterclass, Mindset Shifts to Successfully Change Careers, on Tuesday, the 3rd of March at 7 p.m. Okay, bye for now. And if you want to start making changes to your working life, come and talk to me. you can book a free consultation with me where we'll talk about your personal situation, what's really holding you back, and what you can do differently to start making changes. I'll let you know what type of career change coaching is going to help you, and you can ask me any questions about your personal situation or about my proven process, the Life First Career Method, a method that helps people like you change your career so that you can change your life. Just visit my website, danastevens.com. That's DANASTEVENS.com, and click on the link to book a consultation. Or you can find the link in the show notes. If you've enjoyed this podcast, make sure you get your weekly fix of inspiration and career change guidance by clicking follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to rate and review the podcast, that would really help me get this in front of people who also might be feeling stuck and lost. So I'd really appreciate your help. And if you know anyone, friends, family, even colleagues, who might be thinking about changing careers, please do share this podcast with them. You might just be the person that helps them change their lives for the better.